Lots of changes came in for the warrior, but that doesn't mean you should stop complaining, because you guys know that when warriors complain, the sound of 1,000 screams gets a buff. Either way, I think I kinda figured out what the best build is gonna be, and I really like it. First of all, we're gonna take shield specialization, we're gonna need it for later. I mean, it's gonna give you block is fine. We're gonna take 2 points in blood rage. As you can see, we're going prot. Dual wield tanking is not gonna work. I'm sorry, it's not gonna work. Now we're gonna take defense. We used to take armor because armor used to be better, but right now remember that defense is gonna give us more attack power because of the changes, so that means defense is gonna be the way to go. We're gonna take 1 point in improved shield block, because if you take 2 charges it doesn't change anything, so just take 1. And then we're gonna take last 10. It's a defensive cooldown. Of course we wanna take a defensive cooldown, it helps a lot. Now the big reason you wanna go prot is right here, Defiance. Defiance is 15% threat. Now the reason that I think prot is gonna be way better than Fury, and granted it might not be the way forever because at some point you're gonna outscale it, but the actual reason is that a lot of your threat is not damage, it is flat threat values. Devastate, or I mean your Thunder Armor has flat threat on it. Regardless of the damage you do, it will always do like a certain amount of threat. Shield Slam has flat threat on it, a lot of flat threat on it, so on and so forth. So a multiplier on threat, all things equal, is more valuable than a multiplier on damage for threat. Not to mention it will still exponentially multiply off your other damage modifiers, so it's nice. Very well, now we're gonna take 3 points in Thunder Armor for threat, obviously. We're gonna take 2 points in Shield Wall, because now Shield Wall is only a 5-minute cooldown, so increasing the duration 5 seconds is gonna... I don't know how much uptime that means, but it means a lot more uptime in proportion, you know. We're gonna take Concussion Blow here because we need it for later, not because we actually... It's not a great talent, it's just a stun. I mean, it's useful for some things. Then we're gonna take 2 points here in defense again, so we can go to the next tier. We're gonna take 5 points in one-handed weapon specialization for 10% damage. You can see how like it exponentially multiplies off each other. And of course, we're gonna take Shield Slam. Shield Slam got a huge buff. It got 2 buffs actually. First of all, every time you Shield Slam, you're gonna get attack power equivalent to 4 times the extra defense you have. So extra defense means the defense that goes over 300 is gonna get multiplied by 4 and it's gonna turn into attack power. If you got 20 extra defense, you're gonna get 80 attack power. It's a lot of defense, and you're gonna see in a minute why it turns into even more. Very well, next we're gonna go arms. Now the reason you wanna go arms is because of Impale. We're gonna take Rend because we have to. We're gonna take 3 points in Heroic Strike. We're gonna take Tactical Mastery. Tactical Mastery, you can change the stances and conserve 25 of your rage, so it is really useful for tanking. We're gonna take Anger Management because this is 1 rage every 3 seconds. It doesn't say so on the tooltip, but that's what it does. We're gonna take 3 points in Deep Wounds because every time we crit, we're gonna get a dot on it that does a lot of damage. And right here, Impale, that is 20% more damage when we crit. Actually, it is 10% because it is the bonus. The bonus of crit is double, so the bonus damage is 100% of your damage, so you are getting 20% more of the base damage, so the crit will do 220% total or 10% more. It is still pretty big. If you take Impale, you can only take 3 points in Cruelty right here. As you can see right here when it crosses over. If you got 22% crit or more, Impale will be better than 2% crit. Pretty much anybody can get 22% crit, especially with ball buffs. You know, you get like 5% crit for free, so it's not gonna be an issue. You gotta go Impale. It is way better than Cruelty. Very well, now for the runes, there is 2 things you can do. You can take Shield Mastery if you are very well geared and you're pumping a lot of threat. Shield Mastery will give you 10% more damage, of course. Vigilance, however, will take 10% of the threat somebody makes, and the part that is really busted about this is that it is multiplied by Defiance and Defensive Stance. So you're actually getting 14.95% of their threat to you. So it's gonna be a bit of math for you. If you are a lot over everybody else in the raid, you are gonna take Shield Mastery, but if you are a little undergeared, or if somebody always gets out of control in the threat and you wanna like keep that guy out because they lose 10% threat too, Vigilance is gonna work too. Personally, I like Vigilance more, but like you can take either one of them, they both work. For the back, we're gonna take Shockwave, it does a bunch of threat, it is an AoE, of course we like an AoE. For the chest, we're gonna take the new Flagellation. Every time we take damage, we are calculated as having no armor for their generation of damage, so that means we're gonna take a lot of rage. Is it as good as the old Flagellation? Hell no. Doesn't matter, it's still good. For the wrist, we're gonna be taking Sword and Board because it gives you free shield slams. Shield Slam is your best threat ability by far. Then for the hands, we're gonna take Devastate. It is Thunder Armor with damage. Of course, you wanna take that. Then for the waist, we're gonna be taking Focus Rage because it's gonna reduce the cost of a Devastate by 3. For the legs, we're gonna be taking Furious Thunder because they increase the damage of Thunderclap, and now Thunderclap will hit 10 targets, so this will also help you on the AoE threat department of it. Then for the feet, either one of these three, Gladiator Stance, of course, we're not gonna take that one, but either one of these three are like a decent defensive. If you don't know why you want Enrage Generation, if you don't know why you want Intervene, just take Rallying Cry. Rallying Cry is a raid-wide cooldown, it is amazing, we're gonna take that for now. Then for the ring, we're gonna take first of all your weapon. You got an axe, you take an axe, you got a dagger, you take a dagger, whatever. And then for the other ring, we're gonna take defense. So once again, this is 25 defense multiplied by the new Shield Slam, so that's 4 times. This is 100 attack power, and then we take this talent over here, right? 10 defense. So off of the rune and this talent alone, we're taking 100%. So off the rune and this talent alone, we are getting 140 attack power for free. There is gonna be a world, maybe in tier 2, where Deep Fury will outscale this build, but we do not live in that world yet. Just give it like 3 months, I don't know, maybe 8 years, because we got stuck in Sunken Temple for like forever, so who knows when BWL is coming out. Your stat priority changed a little bit from the previous tier actually. First of all, you wanna get your hit cap, which is 9%. Of course, we got the weapon racial now, so it is gonna be 6%. After that, we're gonna go for strength, not attack power, strength. Strength is better than the equivalent amount in attack power for 2 reasons. First of all, strength it is 10% more because Blessing of Kings, it multiplies 10% extra stats. And second of all, strength increases your block value. It increases it by 20. Every time you get 20 strength, you get 1 block value. It isn't a lot, but you multiply it by 4, that's the threat you get. 1 out of 20 was that 5%. Yeah, 5% more plus 10% more, so we're talking like what, 15% better than attack power. It is not a huge difference, but it is better. Then we're gonna take agility. 20 agility is 1% crit. Of course, agility is always gonna be a little better because it increases your dodge and your armor, so agility is like a little better for a tank, I guess. Now, this build, and the reason that I changed to arms is because of enrage. It used to be that we would go enrage to get crit on purpose, so we could get like 25% more damage. But now defense got so good that it is better to just get all the defense you can, like even if it is not the greatest stat ever, you know, multiplied by 4. So we just take this to scale and we do not have to worry about not getting crit anymore, so that's fine. If they ever nerf the defense ratio, and they might, then we're gonna go back to Fury, but right now, just take defense if you can as a last stat. Is pretty good. Finally, of course, you want to take stamina, not because it is good for your threat, it's just HP. I mean, like any stamina you can get, of course you want to get it. Your rotation, however, hasn't changed one bit. Every time you get a free Shield Slam, you're gonna do that one right away. I put a Wikora on the SoD Warrior channel in my Discord that is gonna tell you when you get a proc, so you can use that to do the Shield Slam. After that, you're gonna be doing Devastate. Now, if you got Shield Mastery, this will not be a problem, but if you do not have Shield Mastery, you might have a little bit less rage, so you might have to do Revenge every so often. Every time it procs, it is super cheap. You might as well do it if you got nothing else to do rage with. And otherwise, if you are stuck in rage, which is probably gonna be the case more because the new flagellation is very good, you wanna just do Heroic Strike. Heroic Strike is really good. Your AoE rotation is also a lot more better, let's call it that. It's actually a rotation now. You wanna do first Shockwave, it's great, it does a lot of damage, a lot of threat. Then you wanna do Thunderclap, and then you just wanna cleave if you can, and that's pretty much it. But from serious threat issues, and once again, they put, I think this is the brightest rune they ever put in the game. Vigilance is great, because if the Prot Warrior on itself sucks, you just take threat from whoever is the most busted spec that you got in your raid, and there you go, you're still busted again. Proxy them. It's like a floor on your threat, so I don't think we're gonna run into threat issues even if the threat is not great, and the threat seems to be doing pretty good. It's not amazing, but it is still, I think we're gonna hold aggro just fine. So yeah, I am pretty hype about the Warrior. That's gonna be the first class I level to 260. I mean, if I don't like it, I can always go back to my bear. I got 2 tanks. But as much as I love whining, I think we're fine. I think we're fine. I think we're gonna be fine. Subscribe, join the Discord, and thank you for watching.